Do not worry.
Well, howdy doody, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode. Well, not episode, a brand new chill stream of On Do Not Worry, folks. I'm your host, Anthony, coming to you from the heart of Lebanon in Jounieh, in the 09, folks. And I'm not alone tonight. Superman may have his super dog. I'm joined by a very super cat today. Little Maki taking a little super nap. How's it going, little Maki? We've missed you. I think once you put the blanket down, he ignores the expensive equipment that's all around him. We got Nata walking around being a little menace right now, but we got little Maki taking a little nap after having his little dinner. He had some fish tonight, folks. Look at his little paw. How's everybody doing? Welcome, welcome. Haley D, thank you so much for gifting 5 Do Not Worry memberships. All right. Thank you so much, Haley, for the generosity. Folks, this is not a typical stream. I'm kind of going to do like a review of Superman. I watched it in IMAX today. I want to talk about people saying that it is a pro-Palestine, anti-Israel movie. I want to give you guys my opinion as an Arab who just watched it. Is it actually pro-Palestine? Is it actually anti-Israel? I'll give you my honest thoughts. If I ever get into any spoilery details about the film, I will most certainly not be afraid to use this spoiler alert graphic that Nour was kind enough to make for us. So here's what's going to happen. If I'm going to say anything that I deem to be a spoiler, I will put this up. And then you can mute the video. Once this goes away, you can unmute, and you know that it will be safe, spoiler-free discussions. Now, I'm going to divide the review. Like, at the end of the stream, right at the end, I'm going to get into spoilers. So by that point, you can all bounce if you don't want to listen to that. And I will still put the spoiler warning at the bottom. But anyways, folks, welcome to this. I wasn't going to do a stream tonight. I figured, fuck it. I watched the movie. I figured I had a couple of things to say. So we'll do that. If you guys would like to support the channel, folks, you can do so on Patreon. I actually want to thank some new patrons. We got Fab, a brand new abductee patron. Fab paid down for the whole year. Fab, thank you so much for the commitment. We appreciate you. And a brand new blonde patron, Fujoshi Cake. Thank you, Fujoshi Cake, for becoming a blonde patron. And superhero patron, Irene the Dream, who joined a few days ago. So thank you so much, you guys, for the support. We very much need your support. The only way for this little independent Lebanese YouTube channel to survive is through amazing people like yourselves. You guys can also support us via YouTube memberships. You can pick a tier that's right for you. I have now added multiple tiers to YouTube memberships. It's kind of like Patreon. And I will be making exclusive content. I was supposed to make an exclusive Patreon vlog of me going to the theater to watch Superman, but I got there late. Like, I didn't get there late. I got there right on time. It took me like 50 minutes, 55 minutes in traffic to get to the movie theater. So I barely made it. I barely had time to get the ticket, get the popcorn, and get my seat. I literally just barely made it. So vlogging the experience would have been impossible and kind of ridiculous. Like, hey guys, I'm late to the theater. So I had to kind of ditch that. But you guys get me. Exclusive content is coming, I promise. I'm going to keep an eye on the live chat right here to my left as often as I can. Elian Mujabed, how's it going? So hello, everyone. So yeah, thank you so much for the support. We love you all. I will thank some more patrons later on in the episode. We're just going to be doing some general stuff today. Quickly, before I forget as well, folks, as a lot of you know, I have just launched a brand new gaming channel, Do Not Worry Gaming. So if you would please like to support this channel, consider subscribing. The link is in the live chat right now. It is pinned to the top of the live chat. It should also be in the video description. Actually, I'm not sure if I included it in the video description. I'll check in a second if I can add it. But yeah, consider subscribing. We are at 436 subscribers, which is not bad, folks. The channel is not monetized yet. We need to have at least either 1,000 subscribers or 4,000 hours of watch time, which I think we're going to get to the 1,000 subscribers before the 1,000 hours. I am currently playing through Dark Souls, which is a notoriously difficult game. So if you guys are interested in games, I'm going to be playing a lot of games on that channel. I'm going to be live streaming video games like maybe 3 to 4 times a week, if not more. Honestly, it's super fun and it's something to do now that I'm unemployed. So it's an extra thing to do, extra content to make, and potentially, hopefully, an extra source of revenue. So consider subscribing if you have any interest in video games. And I might also do like some random movie reviews every now and then. Anything geeky, anything that doesn't fit within this channel, I might go ahead and do it over there. So let's get into that. I'm looking at Magnus Arcade sends $5 and says, whatever anti-Israel messages is coincidence. Gunn has been silent on the genocide and many Zionists in the cast, which makes no sense for an anti-Israel movie. Well, that's what we're going to talk about. Actually, could someone help me with some research and like find out what members of the cast have said? I think most of them have been silent. I don't know if any of them are like outwardly Zionist. So that's that. Please consider subscribing. Let's see if any of you guys subscribed. We're at 436 subs right now. At 442. There you go. Every time I talk about it, people subscribe. Thank you so much, guys. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I might even play some Dark Souls tonight. After I'm done with this live stream, I might take like a short break and I might game for a couple of hours. There's this fucking butterfly. What's it called? The Moonlight Flower Butterfly or something? I'm taking that shit down and I'm taking it tonight. I got myself a new sword. I got some new confidence about me. I've already taken down like 3 bosses. So I might be playing some Dark Souls later tonight. So come on in. Join us on the gaming channel. I have a fun South Park game that I plan on playing. It's going to be super fun for you guys to watch. There's a lot of cool stuff there. Madness, thank you so much for the dono. Let us just give me one moment, folks. Okay. I will be what else we got here? Okay, so let us get into, before I get into my review, let's see what Rotten Tomatoes has to say so far. Superman the movie, directed by James Gunn, is at 83% on Rotten Tomatoes. Critics' consensus, they say, pulling off the heroic feat of fleshing out a dynamic new world while putting its champions big, beating heart front and center. This Superman flies high as a man of tomorrow, grounded in the here and now. Yes, Stanley Parable will be played eventually as well. So this is what Rotten Tomatoes has to say. Let's take a quick look at some. So 236 reviews so far. CH has just gifted 1 Do Not Worry membership. Thank you so much, CH. Deborah Ross from The Spectator doesn't like it. She says the plot, which also incorporates geopolitics, is all over the place, convoluted and confusing. Die-hard fans may find it less so, but have we stopped inviting everybody in? Tim Stevens says Superman isn't flawless still. What it gets right, it gets very right. Far from the epic. And by the way, she mentioned that it's geopolitics. We're also going to talk about an old Superman actor came out and said that like Superman is woke. We're going to talk about that. Is Superman woke? Is Superman pro-Palestine? We're going to talk about all these things. So we're just going to start with the non-spoiler review. We got Paul Klein says Superman is what we could be, who we should aspire to, and Gunn gets that. It's a film about someone realizing they are enough and that we can be enough too. Like Richard Donner did so many years ago, Gunn will make you believe a man can fly. So a lot of people are kind of feeling it. In general, it's getting positive reviews, and the early audience scores are very high. It's at like a 96%. And what people are saying generally is that it's very comic booky. It's very colorful, it's very fun, etc. This time around, Superman feels a lot more accessible and a little more amusing, despite a narrative that seems to unravel in the final act. This film is very easy to sit with. Mark doesn't feel it. Mark Dujcik. There are moments watching Superman that might leave one to wonder if writer-director James Gunn even likes his main character. Randy Jones says the best Man of Steel to grace the screen this millennium. Layla Latif, who's a top critic, says men would rather reboot a superhero franchise than go to therapy. We have 100 of you guys in the live chat right now. Welcome. So, what did I think? Let me go ahead and give you guys my review. I got some photos right here just to have in the background while I talk. What did I think of Superman? Let me give you guys my spoiler-free thoughts. I kind of wrote down a few notes. First of all, just for some context, I'm a big fan of James Gunn, the director of this film. I love his Guardians of the Galaxy movies. I'm a big fan of the 3 Guardians movies. I think they're some of the best MCU movies. Guardians 1 is still probably in my top 5 MCU movies. Guardians 3 was one of the only good recent MCU movies. I think James Gunn really understands story and character. His movies are both a combination of like, they make you cry. They're very emotional. There's like some always intense action, some kind of shocking moments. They're very funny. I really think he has managed to boil down the modern superhero formula into like its most efficient form. He is probably the best superhero movie director that we have today. And I say, and calling him a superhero movie director because at this point he's made like 6 superhero films. He's made the 3 Guardians movies, he's made 1 Suicide Squad movie for DC, and now he's made Superman. He even made a movie called Super back in the day, which is a small independent dark comedy based on a character that he created. But anyways, he's a veteran of the genre at this point. So I very much trust James Gunn's sensibilities, and it is as a fan of James Gunn and someone who looks up to James Gunn as a filmmaker, as a writer, as a creator, that I would say I'm a tiny bit disappointed in this Superman movie. I'm a tiny bit disappointed in it. It's not a bad film by any means. I think it's a very fun film. It's a good film, and it's a solid launch to the DC universe. So I should maybe start with that. It is a fun film. It is a film that I recommend you guys to watch in a theater. But I also think I'm slightly disappointed in it. First of all, the story felt a little bit too out there, and that's something that you're going to see in a lot of the reviews. Like, it's very comic booky. It feels like a Saturday morning cartoon. It's very comic booky. And listen, this is coming from a comic book fan, someone who's covered in like comic book tattoos, who sells comic books as a side hustle for a living. It's been many years. I've been obsessed with comic books and stuff like that my whole life. But I think that for a first film, for an introductory film for a brand new universe, it tried to do a little bit too much, and it is a tiny bit like too wacky. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like a phase 3 Marvel film. It feels like a movie that you would make once your universe is a little bit more established. I think they went a little bit too much. Like, if Zack Snyder's film was way too dark, way too serious, they tried to make it grounded, even though it's not that grounded. And I wasn't a massive fan of Man of Steel. I'm not here to defend Man of Steel. I have a lot of problems with that film, but I feel like this film went very extremely to the left. Like, it went so much in the opposite direction, where it's so wacky that like almost nothing felt like it had any weight to it. For example, just let me show you. For example, you've seen this scene. Sorry, the picture is a little bit pixelated, but you've seen this scene in the trailers a lot, where he's fighting this giant like monster, this giant kaiju. Within the context of the film, this action scene felt like weightless, kind of. It was a bit too goofy, and I'm like, they're just introducing this giant monster like willy-nilly into the world. Superman fights him. It doesn't feel that intense. It's kind of cartoonish. That it felt like it was weirdly low stakes. And a lot of those scenes, like that scene, for example, looked like it hit more in the trailers. There's a lot of very cool sequences that hit in the trailer, that when you watch them in context, in the film with context, they actually like wouldn't hit at all. It wasn't nearly as cool as it was in the trailer. So that is something that I kind of struggled with the film a little bit. Everything felt a bit too wacky, a bit too weightless, a bit too much like a cartoon. And like, I'm gonna try these aren't spoilers right now, but like, for example, within the same film, they're introducing the concept of like a super dog. You have, and I loved Crypto. I thought Crypto was very cute. He was a great character. But within one film, you have, you got Superman, who's an alien from outer space. You got a super dog. They're introducing like pocket universes. You got a giant kaiju walking around, a giant monster, other superheroes. Like, the film kind of announces at the beginning that like superheroes and metahumans have been around for 300 years already. So it already kind of dampens Superman's impact. Like, to me, call me maybe a bit old-fashioned or classic. If this is going to be the start of a universe, of a brand new franchise, kind of make it feel like the beginning. Like, you know what I mean? Iron Man, he was kind of like the first superhero on the scene. In Man of Steel, he was the first like alien on Earth. I know what they're trying to do. Again, they're trying to differentiate it. They don't want to start from scratch completely. But the fact that there's already all these other superheroes flying around by the time like Superman already landed doesn't make Superman feel even like special as a character. You know what I mean? At least in the context of the film. Like, there's already Green Lantern flying around, and there's been heroes for 300 years, they say, and metahumans. Okay, Superman is the most powerful of them all, but why would humans be intimidated or scared of Superman that much, or that he might take over the world when they've already been living with metahumans for 300 years? It kind of dampens of that effect for me, so it didn't feel that special anymore. You know what I mean? When everyone is a superhero around you, when everyone has superpowers, do you stand out? And that's a problem that the Marvel Cinematic Universe started to suffer with as the movies went on. You know what I mean? Like, at first it started off with Iron Man, then you get Captain America, then Thor, then these characters still felt special. When you get to movie 35 and the fucking like doctors have superpowers, and the nurses have superpowers, and the convenience store worker rips his shirt off and is a superhero underneath there, it's like, okay, everybody's got superpowers now. It's not that, it ceases to be special. This movie starts off where having superpowers and being an alien from outer space is already kind of like normal. And it's not that special. It's not that weird. It's not that unique. So I'm not sure I love that, if I'm honest. Madness Arcade with another $5 says, again, Mario Kart with the cast. Nintendo games tend to do well views-wise. Rachel, I remember, said some pro-Israel in 2023, 2024, unless she changed her mind. We'll check it out. We'll try to Google and see what she said. But like, those are sort of my opinions on the film. Again, I'm kind of being nitpicky, but from the perspective of a comic book film, of a comic book fan, like, if I were to I try to look at it from an extremely casual viewer's point of view. If I were to sit them down and make them watch Man of Steel, it's a much darker film. I don't really enjoy Man of Steel, but at least it's a little bit grounded. It's a little bit simple, and they could kind of, I don't know, like, put themselves in the shoes of like of a character in the film where, like, what would you do if an alien landed from outer space and had all these superpowers? You know what I mean? In this film, it's so wacky, and they're getting into pocket universes and stepping into other dimensions. And there's like a weird like river, like Proton River, and like there's a weird like little alien, green alien baby, and some other alien looking creature, and like it's very accurate to a comic book. But again, those aren't necessarily the comics that I enjoy. Like, you know what I mean? I don't like comic books that are that when the story gets that goofy, and when there's something sci-fi or extraterrestrial at every corner, things cease to feel special. Like, your main character, Superman, ceases to feel special. This went a bit too out there for me. I think if they had reined it in, like maybe 15 to 20% in terms of how many new characters they're introducing, how many superpowered beings are already in the world, like, don't include that kaiju. That entire scene with the kaiju, I think, kind of hurt the film. Like, to be honest with you, like, the way that the kaiju is even introduced, I thought was kind of stupid. I wasn't a fan of that. This guy was great. Mr. Terrific, this guy was awesome in the film. You know what I mean? Whatever he was on, they were very fun scenes. But again, his spaceship, I felt like there were some things that I felt were just a little bit too goofy. You know what I mean? Performance-wise, I thought, like, David Cornsweet was great as Superman. I thought Rachel Brosnahan was cool as Lois Lane. She was very good as well. Like, well cast. He's very likable. He's unlike Henry Cavill. Like, he smiles. He literally, like, minor spoiler alert, he saves a squirrel in the film. You know what I mean? Like, the Zack Snyder films were known for, like, that final battle sequence with Zod where they destroy half of Metropolis, and millions upon millions of people are being fucking slaughtered by Superman and Zod as they throw each other and sling each other into buildings. You know what I mean? This movie goes the extra mile to show you that Superman cares for everyone. He saves everyone from like damage, you know what I mean, including a little squirrel. But again, there are scenes in the trailer, like that very iconic scene of Superman holding on to that little girl. Let me try to find that picture. Superman saves girl. That super iconic shot. Let me try to find it. That they've been showing in every single trailer. Here it is. This one right here. When you see it in the movie, it actually doesn't hit that hard. Like, it's part of a scene that feels like just part of a cartoon. So, like, no, you don't feel like anyone's going to get hurt. Like, when I saw this scene in the trailer, I got goosebumps. This scene gave me goosebumps in the trailer. In the film, I felt nothing. I felt nothing. And that is a lot of that film. That's how I would describe a lot of that film. Is just, it felt a bit weightless. It felt a bit too much like a cartoon. A bit too much like a cartoon. And again, I love comics. I love cartoons. I am a man baby. Okay, I have comic book tattoos. But I feel this can lose the casual audience a little bit. And if you're trying to reach to a mainstream audience, like right now, the only people going to comic book movies are the comic book nerds. The mainstream has abandoned the comic book genre. The movies have gone too much. They've gone very mediocre. There's too many TV shows, too many characters to keep up with. I think what audiences would have needed was something a little bit more palatable. Right, Maki? Something palatable. And instead, they got this kind of like jumble of like so many stories, so many characters. Again, still fun. Haley D sends $5 and says, and when everyone's super, no one will be. Syndrome. Exactly. And like the MCU got there after 30 movies. The DC movies decided to start off with that, with everyone being super. There being already all these established superheroes and characters that by the time Superman shows up and is flying around, it didn't feel that special. And I'm complaining now, so you guys might think that I hated the movie. I didn't. I'm just telling you guys what I didn't like about it, and I'm getting that out of the way before I get into sort of more of the things that I liked. And I did like a lot of it. Let me open my notes for a second, remind myself what I liked. I said the story felt weird. So yeah, the way the story is kind of structured as well. Maybe this is a case of like trailers kind of setting wrong expectations, but when you see the story is structured in a weird way. But the way it starts, like things happen a bit too fast. Like there's this scene that they keep talking about of like Lois interviewing Clark, and they're sitting together, and it's like a 10-minute one-on-one conversation. That scene, everyone kept talking about that scene, and how like, you know, how weird it is to have a movie where they're not punching each other all the time. There's going to be an intense 10-minute conversation scene. That scene kind of didn't fall flat, but like I feel like it came again way too early in the film. It came within like the first 20 minutes of the film or something, before I even had a chance to get a feel for who Lois was as a character, for who Clark was as a character. Now, they probably were using that scene to establish who these two people are, but I felt like it would have hit harder a little bit later in the film. Let me get to know these characters. Let me see them interact a little bit more, lay the crumbs of their relationship, and then let it come to a head later in this one-on-one face-off, face-to-face that they're getting into. It happened within like the first 20 minutes. I was like, I'm not sure that's hitting. It's little things like that. You guys might love it. But for me, I think some things should have been ordered differently. Like there's I'm not going to get into that. That could be considered spoilerish. But again, compared to Man of Steel, I understand. You know what I mean? The old DC movies, shepherded by Zack Snyder, were so dark and depressing, and Superman never fucking smiled. This is the opposite. You have a happy Superman who rescues squirrels. His costume is bright. The film is bright. Most action sequences happen during the day. It's when it comes to that, like the energy is very nice. It's pretty funny from time to time. You know what I mean? Like you got James Gunn is a really funny guy, and there are a lot of little funny moments. The interactions with Crypto are very cute. They're very sweet. Crypto is such a good little boy. Even though he's a bad little boy, he's a good little boy. So all of this stuff works. But overall, it just kind of lacked a punch. Like it just wasn't that emotional. There's maybe one or two scenes that got me close to tearing up. But yeah. But I think overall, this is a solid foundation for the DC universe to start with. It's much better than what they had with Zack Snyder. Like, let's at least I can at least say that with confidence. So it's definitely a good start for the DCEU. I would have just reined it in a little bit. I would have made it a little bit more mainstream, like less goofy, less cartoony, lean maybe 10 to 15% less into the comic book stuff. And it felt like a lot of it wasn't earned. I actually really like fuck, why am I forgetting his name? Nicholas Hoult. Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor was really cool. I really like him, and he's gonna be a great villain, like reoccurring villain. He's gonna be like Team Rocket from Pokemon. He's gonna keep showing up in multiple movies. This isn't the last time we're gonna see him. I thought he was cool. Some of the action sequences, also, I want to say, why they were mostly nice. There wasn't one iconic action scene that I walked away from being like, God damn, that was so fucking cool. There's like that cool shot that's in the trailer of Superman like spinning around with the lasers. That's a cool shot. It's not a whole scene. There's one cool scene with Mr. Terrific. He had the coolest action scene, but again, it wasn't that memorable. Nothing involving Superman. There's cool shots of him, but there wasn't like, for like, as much as I complained about Man of Steel, his fight with Zod is still kind of untouched. You know what I mean? And this is coming from like someone who hates on Man of Steel a lot. Like that whole fucking scene where he lets his Kevin Costner die, and Kevin Costner's like, let me die, son. Don't save me, son. Like, that's fucking stupid. I know. Like, I'm no fan of Man of Steel. Let's go fix Maki's angle a little bit. Oh, okay. So, Half-Tooth Replica sends $5 and says, am I tripping, or the number of bandages in your right hand are increasing with every stream? No, it's just one thing, and I have this like wooden stick here kind of to like help move a bone back into place. It's just one kind of like tight grip. Thank you so much for the $5, Half-Tooth Replica, and thank you for being here on stream. Ooh, we got Nola Magnolia also gifted 5 Do Not Worry memberships. So we got like 10 gifted memberships today between Nola Magnolia and Haley D. Thank you guys so much. That's very sweet of you. So uno momento. So yeah, I mean that's essentially my spoiler-free review of Superman. Let's see how many of you guys are chilling in the live chat. Make sure if you're in the live chat right now, like the stream, like the video, and once again, folks, make sure to subscribe if you're just joining us to my brand new channel, Do Not Worry Gaming. The link is pinned on top of the 443 subscribers. Awesome. The link is pinned on top of the live chat. Let me just quickly see if I can add the link to the new channel. Oh, there it is here. I need to add my new sub to my new channel. Boom, 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 boom. There it is, and save. We just added it to the description. Perfect. So we're gonna get to the Zionist stuff in just a second. So we're done with the review. Let's see. I mean, I liked it. Let's see what the anti-woke crowd had to say, folks. Let's see what Tyrone Magnus has to say. Tyrone, who's been hating on every piece of footage that comes out, calling it woke, calling it stupid, all those sorts of things. He's a big sniper. This man is like 45 years old, by the way. Just keep that in mind.
Me.
He keeps, every time he sees anything with crypto, he's like, whoa, what is this? Horrible person. He's had the worst takes on this film since the beginning.
Right. Superman 2025 was stupid. It was dumb. It was corny. It was cheesy. It was goofy. It was campy. And it was one big old piece of trash. I said it was one big old piece of trash.
So he hates it.
My God. That was one of the dumbest, stupid superhero movies I've ever seen, and I've seen Thor: Love and Thunder. The crypto bad dog jokes were played like the screaming goats.
He can't get over the, just before we get in, I don't think I talked enough about like David Cornsweet. I really think he's a great Superman. Like, he's very hopeful. He does embody like that positivity. He's very likable as the character. So I do think, and I'm going to talk about some spoilers near the end of the stream. So again, there's some spoilers, a nice spoilery twist in there that I want to talk about near the end. But I mean, I did really like David Cornsweet. I think he's super likable, and at least he was given a chance. Like, I never think Henry Cavill was ever given a chance to shine as Superman. They just had the one movie. They threw him in against Batman. He was always moping and sad and upset. But yeah, sorry, here, let's get back to this guy.
Hour later. Half hour later. Yeah. There were a lot of characters in this movie, and I gotta say, I think that James Gunn actually handled that well. I think he's actually has a talent for that. I liked Mr. Terrific. I did not like Hawkgirl. Guy Gardner was okay with me. I liked, what's his name? Now I'm forgetting his name. Metamorpho. I liked him. Lois was okay. Jimmy was alright.
Great review. I liked this guy. I didn't like this person. I like this person. I didn't like this person.
Lex was kinda good. Crypto irritated me, but there were cute moments. Perry White was just there. Someone shows up at the end of the movie and has a really stupid exchange. A scene.
We'll talk about that in the spoilers. I'll talk about that in spoilers.
Superman himself. You know, I kind, it's weird. Like, he had his moments, you know? Cornsweet had his moments. I think that he has the ability to. Anyways,
this guy's kind of annoying. We don't need to watch more of him. He just hates him. This is just such a badly structured review. Let's wait till some more reviews come out from these guys, and we can maybe react to them next time. Bob Vorn sends $2 and says, when are you going to show proof of funds being used on falafel? Bob Vorn, very soon. I promise you, very soon. Now, let's get into the eternal question. Is Superman woke? Recently, James Gunn mentioned that Superman is an immigrant. And as you guys know, this isn't the first time people refer to Superman as an immigrant. He's been called like the world's most famous immigrant because it's the world's most famous immigrant story, or refugee story. He's just like dumped on planet Earth, you know what I mean? He doesn't belong anywhere. He just so happened to land in America, and then he learns to love America and being a human and the human race, essentially. He's an immigrant to Earth. So, ex-Superman actor Dean Cain apparently thinks that that's woke, and I think he's had a right-wing turn in the past, recently. So here he is, Dean Cain. Whoopsie, what happened here? Oh, sorry, let me see. Let's see what Dean Cain had to say. Ex-Superman Dean Cain says, James Gunn made a mistake calling Superman an immigrant, and I think it's going to hurt the box office. How woke is Hollywood going to make this character? How much is Disney going to change their Snow White? Why are they going to change these characters to exist for the times? For Superman, it was truth, justice, and the American way. Well, they dropped that. They came up with truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. Changing beloved characters, I don't think is a great idea. If you want to create a new character, go ahead and do that. I think that was a mistake by James Gunn to say it's an immigrant thing, and I think it's going to hurt the numbers on the movie. I was excited for the film. I am excited to see what it is. I'm rooting for it to be a success, but I don't like that last political comment. Oh my God, folks. James Gunn said that Superman is an immigrant. He ruined it. Poor Dean Cain. Dean Cain was excited for the film, and now he no longer wants to watch it because it is woke garbage. A casual sheep gardener sends $2 and says, love from US. Have you watched Cosmonaut Variety? I love Cosmonaut Variety. I think he's great. He's very funny. Thank you so much for the message. He's very fun. He's very funny. I haven't seen his review just yet. So Dean Cain. Let's open the whole article and see what's up. Let's see what it says, and let's try to see let's try to find some videos on YouTube of Dean Cain being like all woke and stuff. Dean Cain woke. I wrote his name. So here's the full article. No Variety. I don't want to subscribe. Dean Cain, who played Superman. La 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 la. Let's see if that's the whole thing. Superman is always sold for truth. But there are rules. You can't come in saying, I want to get rid of all the rules in America because I want it to be more like Somalia. What? Superman has always stood for truth, justice, and the American way. And the American way is immigrant-friendly. Tremendously immigrant-friendly. Cain continued. Just don't use the word immigrant. Just don't say immigrant and you'll be fine. But there are rules, you see? You can't come in saying, I want to get rid of all the rules in America because I want it to be more like Somalia. Well, that doesn't work because you had to leave Somalia to come here. Okay, why is he singling out Somalia? There have to be limits because we can't have everybody in the United States. We can't have everybody. Society will fail. So there have to be limits. Why is Dean Cain turning this into an open border situation right now? He's just saying it's the story of an immigrant and how, like, America is the land of opportunity and everyone can become an American. And, like, you know, even someone from outer space, even an alien can learn, you know, that truth, justice, and the American way is like a worthy way of life. Why are you turning it into, well, that doesn't work because you had to leave Somalia to come here. There have to be limits because we can't have everybody here. What about their green cards? Are these Somalians going to get green cards? Are they going to go through the process? Like, bro, who brought up Somalia? Who's talking about Somalia, man? When Gunn said that Superman is an immigrant that came from other places and populated the country, MAGA supporters and conservative pundits were quick to react by saying they would skip the movie. Fox News branded the film super woke as network host Jesse Waters wisecracked. You know what it says on his cape? MS-13. We don't go to the movie theater to be lectured and to have somebody throw their ideology onto us, Kellyanne Conway added about the movie. By the way, the movie almost like never mentions, like, talks about, like, it's not a theme of the film being an immigrant. Like, and if it is, I completely missed it because it was like very surface level. Like, Man of Steel kind of dealt with that more. Man of Steel was all about him being an alien coming to Earth and how the Earth would react to that. Dean Cain told TMZ, I think bringing Superman into it, I think that was a mistake by James Gunn to say it's an immigrant thing. And I think it's going to hurt the numbers on the movie. I was excited for it. I am excited to see what it is. I'm rooting for it to be success, but I don't want it to be a political comment. Gunn was unbothered, blah, blah, blah. This is kind of fucking hilarious, actually. Gunn's brother, the actor Sean Gunn, who plays Maxwell Lord in the film, also weighed in. My reaction to the backlash is, okay, blah, blah, blah. We don't need to get into that. Let's see if I found anything on Dean Cain. Dean Cain's take on the new Superman movie.
Let's talk about the character that most people will forever know you as, and that is Superman. They're trying to reboot this character.
Yes.
Okay, I have a feeling this is going to be fucking copyrighted. You bastards. Dean Cain on woke comics. Okay, let's see that. Let's see that.
Yeah. You know, I love Captain America. I love the concept of Captain America, but I am so tired of all of this wokeness and anti-Americanism. You know, we just celebrated our 245th birthday.
Marvel under fire for politicizing Captain America. You fucking idiots. His name is Captain America. What about Captain America is not political? The character is inherently political. He was created as fucking anti-Nazi propaganda, bro. There was a cover of Captain America punching Adolf Hitler in the face, bro. And they're like, why are you politicizing Captain America? What do you mean, bro? His name is fucking Captain America. Idiots. Marina Nimis sends $5 and says, they need a reminder that the Americans are immigrants who took native land and barely give credit to the native people. Oh, Marina, we don't talk about that anymore. The fact that Americans are all immigrants and that, like, you know, it's a colonized country, we just overlook that point at this point. Casual Sheep Gardener sends $2 and says, when you make fun of racists, you do the Ela voice. Really? Did I do that by mistake, or are you telling me to do that? Maybe at this point I don't even think about it.
In my opinion, America is the greatest country in history. It's not perfect. We are constantly striving for a more perfect union, as we all know, but I believe she's the most fair, equitable country ever, with more opportunity than anyone's ever seen. And that's why people are clamoring to get here from all over the globe. I agree with Senator Tom.
Motherfucker, ain't nobody clamoring that much to get here anymore. I'm watching 90 Day Fiance, where I was like last week, and like it's so funny. You got these people who bring these immigrants from like you know, the Philippines and all these countries in the middle of fucking bumfuck nowhere in some fucking like rural fucking town in America. Like, are you here? You just want the green card? Is that where you're coming here? You want to live here? You want our way of life? It's like, bro, your way of life is shit. You're all poor. There's nothing to do here. They're coming from the Philippines, which is like a beautiful tropical fucking country, bro, with fucking beaches and palm trees and shit. All you have is like Walmarts around you, and they're like, you're just here for the green card. It's like, no, bro, stop flattering yourselves. Dean Cain, stop flattering yourself. America isn't all that, bro. There's like 3 cool states in America. There's like Los Angeles, there's like New York, a few nice cities. You know what I mean? Everywhere else, bro, I'm sorry, bro. It's like a fucking depressing, rural fucking shithole. No offense to anyone watching from the States, folks. We love you all. Thank you for the support.
Who was on a couple days ago, who said that perhaps captain needs to be demoted to lieutenant, because I think that makes good sense. We're here, you know, America has its founding principles, which I firmly believe in. I believe in individual freedom. I believe in equality of opportunity, not outcome. Competition, the ability to compete fairly, hard work, which brings you success and brings you material wealth, which in turn gives you self-reliance. That's what everybody wants on the face of this planet. That's what everybody strives for. That's why they're trying to come here. And I find...
Motherfucker, everyone's in debt. Most Americans can't afford a $400 emergency. Most Americans don't have fucking health care. Like, what? Stop it. Stop it. They're trying to come here. They're trying to de-America. They're trying to politicize Captain America. Shut up. You're Superman. You have nothing to do with Marvel Comics affairs, Dean Cain. Stick to what you know, okay? Stick to calling Superman woke. Don't you be coming for Captain America now.
You know, this wokeness, it's pervasive. It goes through everything. It's in our school system. The cool thing to do today is bash America. The comic books do it. The schools indoctrinate our kids. They do that. Our movies, our television shows is full of it. Celebrities, actors, athletes, the media, they love to...
This Han Photography says, come to Canada. It's better. We won't detain immigrants and kick them out. And we have free health care.
To bash America. I don't get it. I wonder to myself often, do these people ever travel outside of America? Do they go to other countries where they have to deal with governments who aren't anywhere near as fair as the United States? I don't think they do. I do it all the time. Like,
oh yeah, the fair and free government of the United States detaining Mahmoud Khalil, detaining protesters, college students who are protesting against Israel. They're getting kicked out of the country. Fair, and you know, the fairest government in the world. I'm glad we found this video of Dean Cain. Not gonna lie. Let's see if there's anything else. Dean Cain's fight against woke Hollywood. Oh, he can't shut up about it. Oh, so this is all 4 years ago. I guess that's when he popped out and started his anti-woke. Where is he from? Where is Dean Cain from? Let's just Google that, because is he white? Is Dean Cain white? That's racist. Ooh, oh my God, folks. This is controversial. Dean Cain is not entirely white. He is biracial with a Japanese father and a white English, French, Canadian, Irish, and Welsh mother. His father's father was Japanese, and his father's mother was half Japanese and half European. He is often described as white passing. Okay, so you got a white passing immigrant, son of immigrants. Just because you think you lucked out and you look like a white man doesn't mean you have to join the white man's party now and talk shit about other immigrants. Dean Cain, you bastard. You fucking, what a piece of shit. I just want to see. Dean Cain, keep your mouth shut. Rob Schmidt tonight. What? Dean Cain reacts to bisexual Superman. Oh, fuck yeah. Let's fucking do that, bro. That's right. They made like Superboy, or like they made like Superman's son or something bisexual. Yes, dude, this is going to drive him crazy. He's going to seethe. Superman can't kiss another boy? What is that? Puh.
They said it's bold and it's and
he could. I didn't like Artful Decadence says he could pass for Latino. That's what I thought. He kind of looks a bit like Mario Lopez. He's giving me slight Mario Lopez vibes. Okay, so let's see him react to bisexual Superman, bro. He's gonna fucking punch someone.
they said it's bold and it's and a bold new direction. I say they're bandwagoning.
Dean Cain appeared on Fox News on Tuesday and weighed in on DC Comics' decision to make the new Superman bisexual. So in the comics, Lois and Clark's son, Jonathan Kent, who has taken over as the Man of Steel, will begin dating a male reporter. Now, Dean, who played Superman on Lois and Clark for 4 seasons, doesn't think...
Perhaps that would have been... So I don't think it's bold or brave or some crazy new direction. If they had done this 20 years ago, perhaps that would have been bold and brave. But brave would be having him, fighting for the rights of gay people in Iran, where they'll throw you off a building.
In Iran? Oh my God, he's bringing in the Ethan Klein fucking commentary. If Superman were brave, he would be fighting for the rights of gay people in Iran, which is why we need to bomb Iran, by the way. Jesus Christ, they can't help themselves, bro. Even when talking about Superman, they have to bring in other countries and be like, what about the gay people there? Oh my God, bro. The brain rot. The brain rot. Nogzolato sends $2 and says, Dean Cain visited Israel and met Netanyahu in 2018. That does not surprise me. That does not surprise me. What a piece of shit.
For the offense of being gay. They're talking about him fighting, real wrong. Perhaps that would have been bold. So I don't think it's bold or brave or some crazy new direction. If they had done this 20 years ago, perhaps that would have been bold and brave. But brave would be having him, fighting for the rights of gay people in Iran, where they'll throw you off a building for the offense of being gay. They're talking about...
Or they'll throw you off a building for the offense of being gay. This is literally Ethan Klein's tweet.
Fighting, real world problems like climate change, the deportation of refugees, and he'll be dating a hacktivist, whatever a hacktivist is. I don't know, but
he's seething, bro. He's seething because Superman's kissing a dude. He's like a 50-year-old man. Like, what is that? Superman used to stand for straight people. Superman doesn't kiss men. He hangs the gays.
Why don't they have him fight the injustices that created the refugees, whose deportation he's protesting? That would be brave.
That means you want him to fight the American government? You want Superman to fight the American government? Why do you think Arabs are fucking coming to America and shit, bro? Stop bombing us. Stop selling weapons to fucking Israel, bro. By the way, if you've just tuned in, we are going to get to is Superman pro or anti-Israel? We're going to talk about that. I skipped that part in my review because I'm saving it for later. Dean Cain? Huh? You want us to what? You want Superman to fight to take down the American government? That's what it sounds. That sounds pretty un-American to me. Dean Cain, you sound anti-America.
That or fighting for the rights of women to attend school and have the ability to work and live, and boys not to be raped by men under the new warm and fuzzy Taliban. That would be brave.
Taliban? Why? Stop bringing, what is wrong with you, bro? Stop men being raped from the Taliban. That's what you want Superman to do? That's what you want Superman to do? I mean, he would probably like the new movie because there is a country in the new movie that is kind of like Palestine that is being taken over by Israel. Do you like that? You Netanyahu meeting motherfucker?
There's real evil in this world today, real corruption and government overreach, plenty of things to fight against, human trafficking, real actual slavery going on. It'd be brave to tackle those issues, shine a light on those issues. As far as, I'd like to see the character doing that. I read that comic. This one, I don't think I'll be reading. I could just watch CNN or MSNBC to get this information.
This is fascinating. So first off, his last comic...
Yeah, can you imagine Dean Cain reading the gay Superman comic? No one's expecting you to pick that up, put your feet up on the couch, and read the bisexual Superman comic, Dean Cain.
There, where he says, I'll watch MSNBC or CNN to get this kind of information. He's basically saying that Fox is fascinating. The likes of Dean Cain are just a fascinating species at this point.
Okay, so that's so fucking funny, man. Dean Cain slams Superman coming out as bisexual. I guess we saw most of it. The Hidden Garden. Okay, I think we've spent enough time on Dean Cain. That was a fun little rabbit hole, though, I must say. That was kind of fun. We got 135 of you in the live chat. What's up, everybody? So we're done with Dean Cain. And so also we got this person is also, she's like a right-wing grifter. Amala Ekpunobi. Superman is an immigration story. let's just see. Look at the
So we
thumbnail
have
was
yet
cool.
another Superman story coming out, and this time directed by James Gunn. Now,
I've seen her on Pierce Morgan. She seemed very annoying. Again, like very much of a right-wing grifter.
everybody's been excited about this film up until James Gunn had to let everybody know that it is political, it is an immigrant story, and it's about basic human kindness. His brother went even further and said, if you don't agree, you're not American. Okay, so this is new from Hollywood. Let's talk about it. Yeah, you better.
Oh, bro, the right-wing grift is the easiest fucking thing, dude. Seriously, should I just fucking rebrand this whole channel? I can forget about the gaming channel and just be like, Hollywood is woke! Superman is woke! I could literally make... Dude, look at she's got 46,000 views. She dropped this 20 hours ago, bro. Just calling Superman woke. That's all you have to do nowadays, man. That's all you have to do. By the way, speaking of new channels, folks, subscribe to my brand new Do Not Worry gaming channel. The link is pinned on top of the live chat. It is also in the description of the video. We are at 445 subscribers. I'll be doing live streams, video games, might even be playing tonight after this live stream. So join me on my Dark Souls adventure. We're going to be playing South Park together, the Stanley Parable, a whole bunch of weird ass games. Join me, folks. Join me. So back to this lady.
Yeah, you better. Guys, before we get into today's video, please like and subscribe. Yes, today we're talking about James Gunn's Superman, and I'm not talking about it because David Cornsweat, or however you say his last name, is fine, okay? I've been seeing photos of this man all over the place, many a thirst trap, and that's the reason a lot of, I think, young women, and maybe the gays, are gonna...
He looks a lot like Henry Cavill, by the way. Like, that's the ultimate irony. Is that I saw a very funny tweet. It was like from The Substance. They were like, they showed both of them side by side, and it's like as if David Cornsweat is a young Henry Cavill from because of The Substance.
Be headed to the movie theater to watch this film, but I'm going to be in the theater to watch this film because James Gunn apparently had to let everybody know that it is political. It's an immigrant story, which we all know what's happening on the topic of immigration right now. It's about basic human kindness. And as I said before, we're also going to get to his brother's comments, which were a little spicier.
Get
now,
to the
first,
point.
Let's read some headlines. Deadline says James Gunn says Superman is an immigrant story about basic human kindness. Variety says James Gunn says Superman is about an immigrant that came from other places and how we've lost the value of basic human kindness. Ah, yes, just what we've been asking for from Hollywood. Another film.
The gays, yeah. Alistair Russell says the gays. The gays find them fine. The gays and the women's.
Politics. Another great loved American character that's had a stronghold on American culture for quite some time, just being taken and injected full of American politics and divisiveness.
He's an alien from a planet called Krypton, you fucking idiot.
Luckily, he said it's about basic human kindness. Now, of course, this topic created a lot of controversy, a frenzy online. People are saying it is an immigrant story. No, it's not. It's about legal immigration. No, it's illegal immigration. It's about...
Guys, I agree. David Cornsweat is hot, okay? David Cornsweat is a hot, beautiful man, okay? He's a beautiful man. Ain't nobody here denying it.
About the American way. No, a better tomorrow. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. We've been going through this for quite some time now. And James Gunn was recently interviewed by Variety once again on this topic, as you can probably imagine. And he tried to, I think, work it back, be a little bit more diplomatic in his response. Here's what he said.
You said it's an immigrant story. It's a political movie. MAGA today is going nuts. What do you have to say to MAGA?
I don't have anything. I think this movie's for everybody. I don't have anything to say to anybody. Like I'm not here to judge people. You know.
Whoa.
You know. I think this is a movie.
We got some prime Maki action. He's making biscuits. Maki? My cookie boy? You good little my cookie boy? Little sweet boy? You little sweet boy? Sweet little my cookie boy. Today he did the cutest little thing. It was so fucking random. Let me see if I split us. Can you see him now? You guys won't see him. So he did the cutest little thing today. He pooped and then he ran into the kitchen. Okay, this is gonna sound kind of gross. So trigger warning if you're eating. Okay, trigger warning. He came into the kitchen like running, all frightened and stuff. And there was like 2 balls of poop hanging from his butt. Okay, two balls. Like he was trying to poop and they weren't falling out. And he was like all panicking, like trying to look down and then looking up at me, like, what do I do? Like, what do I do? I was like, calm down, bro. I grabbed the tissue, grabbed him, literally had to like. So it was like one. I'm sorry, again, trigger warning if you're eating. 1 ball of poop hanging on his butt and one hanging by that off of that one with like a hair. I pull off the first one that was dangling, then I pull out the second one out of his butt with the tissues, then I grab a special like wet towel that's designed for pets. It's like a glove. Wiped his little butt clean. He was all clean. And then he was all okay. Little Makuki running around. He was so scared, but he's like, what do I do? He's like looking at me like, what do I do? There's like shit hanging off my butt. I like kept looking down trying to lick his butt. Then he's like, no, I can't lick my butt. It's like dirty. Then he'd look back at me. I'm like, stop running around the house and let me clean that off of you. You crazy little boy. He had a little poo-poo butt. Little poopy butt. It was a fun morning, folks, running after him with poop hanging out of his ass. But yeah.
About kindness, and I think that's something everyone can relate to.
Homeboy said, mumble rapper all of a sudden. Now, and I totally get it. The first thing that he said, that it's an immigrant story and it's about, human kindness. I could see that, creating a snowball effect that maybe he didn't intend. But then James' brother comes in, Sean Gunn, with a good 1-2 uppercut to the whole message and says, you know what, if you don't agree that this is an immigrant story and this is political, yada, 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 you're not American.
Now, MAGA is already upset that he's called Superman an immigrant. I wanted to get your reaction.
My reaction to that is that it is exactly what the movie is about. I think that we support our people, we love our immigrants. Yes, Superman is an immigrant. And yes, the people that we support in this country are immigrants. And if you don't like that, then you're not American. People who say no to immigrants are against the American way. They're against what the American dream is all about.
Truth, justice, and the American way.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Of course, it is un-American, bro. Like, come on, the fucking Statue of Liberty, bro. It's all about, like, welcoming immigrants. Send me you're poor, you're hungry, you're whatever, you're weak. How... Hello? Sorry, guys. I got disconnected, man. My mom called me. And it disconnected the whole fucking thing. And the internet is barely working now. Fuck, bro. Did the whole thing reset? The whole thing probably reset, didn't it? I lost half the audience, man. Oh my god. Dude, that's so bad. Everybody gone, bro. Okay, I got it, but the connection still isn't right. It's gonna be choppy right now. Is it choppy or is it working? Is it okay? Fuck, bro. Okay. What up, North Star? I know, like, fuck, everybody, half the people left. God damn it, bro. Gotta give my mom a good understanding. Don't call me. I'll call you, mom. What you doing calling me? You know this whole thing runs on 4G. Why does the internet stop working if you get a phone call? I don't understand it. Why does that happen? Why does that happen? So annoying. Oh, it got covered like 2 minutes, man. Like now, but the connection isn't stable now. Is it stable? It might be choppy. Oh my god, man. Let me know if it gets choppy, because I've worked the whole... I've been using my phone as an Ethernet now. And now I can't, because it's going to dial again. It's going to die again if I disconnect it. Okay. It's been choppy. Every time I use this kind of shit, it's choppy. Bro... just give me 1 second, folks. Can't figure it out, and if I do it again, it's going to disconnect again. And I really have to have like a no phone call rule. Is there any way to like stop my phone from being reachable? If I put it on airplane mode, I can't get calls. Okay. Yeah, we need music for that BRB thing. Okay, just give me 1 second to gather my thoughts. I can't deal with technical difficulties well at all, man. And because I know that this connection isn't good. I know this connection's bad because I've used it before. Okay. Okay. So let's talk about. I'm gonna be to keep. Just let me know in the chat if do not disturb mode. Really, I won't get calls in do not disturb mode. Okay. Fuck, I really lost my train of thought right now. Okay, so we did the review. The Superman woke. Okay, Superman Pro-Palestine. So, the topic you're all in for. Let's hope the connection is stable for this one. Is Superman pro-Israel? Now, I came across this tweet yesterday. And this is what it said. Oh my God. This was a review for Superman on Letterboxd. It said 5 stars with a heart. Yeah, holy fucking shit, this rips. As a noted modern comic book movie hater, I genuinely think this is the best one. It had such unique visual identity that I absolutely loved. About as far left as a comic book movie could be. We have reached new levels of we are so back that have never been seen before. Very anti-Israel, which is awesome to see from a major studio blockbuster. Gunn is the best comic director. So that was that one tweet, and that tweet started going around basically, and people basically quoting that tweet and being like, yes, I agree, it is pro-Palestine, or no, I don't care. So let's just look at a few of them. Anti-Israel. Matthew makes a good point. He says anti-Israel, and it's about a fictional Eastern European country called Boravia invading another fictional Eastern European country called Jahanpur. Like, come the fuck on, man. Anti-Israel. And like, there's no proof right here. Betting $50 that the anti-Israel commentary will just be a two sides bad thing. Anti-Israel has me seated like never before. It won't be, and I won't be getting up anytime soon. So let me explain what the plot line of the film is and give you guys my opinion on whether or not it is anti-Israel or not. I just kind of forgot what they're called. So there's basically 2 fictional countries in the movie. One is called Boravia. You guys might consider this slightly spoilerish, but like it's in the trailers. You see the kid holding the Superman flag. One of the countries is called Boravia, aka maybe Israel, and Jarhanpur, which is essentially Palestine. And throughout the film, they mention that there's this conflict. There's the country of Boravia, which is very technologically advanced, and they do mention that like they have all the advanced weaponry, and that the people of Jaharpur are like poor, and they have like very basic weapons, etc. So that's already one parallel. There's another parallel of where they said that Boravia is trying to free the people of Jaharpur from their corrupt leaders. Basically, free Gaza from Hamas, free Palestine from Hamas. There's a lot of that also. Even visually, the way the people are dressed of Jahanpur, they're a bit brown. Some of them look like they have veils. They're Arab coded, okay? I'm not sure what they are. Like Boravia sounds like an Eastern European country. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not sure. But to me, it did kind of seem like it was kind of pro-Palestine. Like, you know what I mean? Like a little bit, I'm not going to lie. But, for example, another recent piece of media that to me was way more pro-Palestine and anti-Israel than this was Andor. And again, I will recommend you guys watch Andor seasons 1 and 2 on Disney+. Specifically, season 2 is the one that goes hard on the anti-Israel stuff and literally calls what's happening there a genocide. They literally talk about genocides and like resistance. And the themes there are way stronger. But, I mean, for a mainstream comic book movie, you could kind of draw parallels that, hey, this is the story of Israel and Palestine. You have one technologically, and not just that, not only is the technologically advanced country of Boravia that is trying to invade Jaharpur, they make a point to say that they're very close allies of the U.S. They say that Boravia and the U.S. are very close allies, and despite them being close allies, you know what I mean? The U.S. has to support them. So despite Boravia doing horrible things, and the characters in the movie are openly admitting that, like, yeah, what that country is doing is bad and it's wrong, but they're allies of the U.S., so we have to support them. Very similar to Israel. They also say that Jarhanpur is a country that is not friendly towards the United States, which you could kind of say of Palestine, which is, I mean, Palestine has no choice in being friendly towards anyone right now. It's not even a country anymore. They have no rights. But I mean, essentially, you know what I'm saying. So as a casual viewer, I think that, yeah, like that's how I kind of took it. It does seem like it's slightly pro-Palestine and anti-Israel. It's not even pro-Palestine. It's just saying that like Israel is a piece of shit, basically. Like, look, that country is clearly belligerent. Even though what I liked was the courage of saying that even though it's an ally of the US, it doesn't mean that it's right. The movie at least had the willingness to say that like the US aids countries and sells them weapons just for the sake of like selling weapons and making money and profiting off of war, which is exactly what the US and Israel are doing. The US has sold billions of weapons, billions of dollars worth of weapons to Israel. The movie also comments on that, how the only reason they're keeping the war going and they're trying to invade that country is so that Lex Luthor can sell that government unlimited weapons, etc. So there are enough parallels, I think, with Israel and Palestine. Now, is it fair to say that the movie is a pro-Palestine, anti-Israel film? I don't think so. And for us to understand that a little bit more, I think let's look into some of the comments that some of the cast and crew have made, if any, about the situation in Palestine. Nola Magnolia sends 100 Egyptian pounds and says, I think everything will be fine if you speak in the Yoda voice. The starry background of the BRB demands it.
A great film. Superman was not. Disappointed. I was. Entertaining. It still is. But more I desired.
It's not a bad film. I still liked it, folks. Nola Magnolia, thank you so much for the generous donations. Let us see what else I want to open up about here. And I know kind of the irony also of people being like, well, do we even need a superhero movie to be pro-Palestine? Like, what does it even mean? Like, isn't it fucked up to have like a white superhero, a white savior coming to save Palestinians? I mean, sure, look, at the end of the day, I don't really care if Superman is pro-Palestine or not. We don't need him. But whether we like it or not, the Superman symbol is one of the world's most fucking recognizable symbols, along with like fucking Coca-Cola, the Christ, the cross of Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? Like Darth Vader's helmet, Ronaldo's face. There are certain symbols and things that are so iconic that everyone in the world knows them. And Superman, whether we like it or not, is the symbol of like good and hope around the world. Everyone recognizes it, from like the poorest African nation to the richest, whatever the fuck you want. This is a picture of a little kid in Gaza walking around with a Superman cape, for example. Here's another photo of a little boy, a little Superman in Gaza, but he's not saving the world, he's trying to survive it. So Superman, whether it's right or wrong, whether we agree or not, is a symbol of hope for a lot of little kids. And when you're little, bro, you're not politicizing these characters. Oh, does America the Superman represent America and colonialism and all that shit? You're just a little kid reading a comic book of a character with a cape who's fucking flying. A lot of those comics used to be translated into Arabic. I have some of them. So a lot of kids all over the world look up to Superman. And, it is a symbol of hope. Oh, so we lost some of the things with the... Okay, sorry. Here. Okay. Let's look up real quick what the cast and crew... If you guys find anything, let me know. Superman. Okay, so what's her name? Rachel Brosnahan? Rachel Brosnahan, Israel. What? Reverse Canary mission. Oh, that's disappointing. So, Rachel Brosnahan supported Israel's genocide on her Instagram account and blamed it on the Palestinians. She also posts Israel lies, such as Palestinians celebrate the murder of civilians. What? So she shared this? Okay, fuck. Okay, can you guys see? Rachel Brosnan, I'm seeing so much purple prose and careful writing and hand-wringing and contextualizing and people viewing this through the lens of their personal philosophies and politics. Fine, good for everyone, all of it is needed. With all that said, the murder of innocents is never acceptable, the desecration of corpses is never acceptable, the taking of children as hostages is never acceptable, the celebration of murder, especially the murder of civilians, is never acceptable. I mean, okay, sure, to excuse or justify war crimes strips both victims and perpetrators of their humanity, so don't, and pray for the millions of Israelis and Palestinians who are now squarely in harm's way because of yesterday's violence and everything that has led to it. Damn. Evidence link 1. I mean, if that's all it is, that's a pretty... She's just saying don't justify the murders and don't celebrate October 7th, which I get. But then she's kind of two sides again. Pray for Israelis and pray for Palestinians, etc. But not going to lie, that's kind of disappointing. That's kind of disappointing. What about our beautiful David Cornsweat? David Cornsweat. Israel. Did he say anything? Oh, I think he's Jewish. David Corn is the first Jewish actor to play the famed superhero, really. Isn't David Cornsweat a Zionist? I'm pretty sure he posted something in support of Israel to his Instagram stories. David Cornsweat, Gaza. Oh, so he is Jewish. Okay, but I mean, that does... David Cornsweat, the next Superman, has deep Jewish roots in New Orleans. Okay, Times of Israel. Let's see what this says. Is the connection okay? What the fuck is this? Ad blocker, okay. But since this is another article that I had found, so you have people saying that the movie's pro-Palestine, which I think it lightly is, but I mean, I don't think James Gunn has said anything about that. Let me close some of these photos over here. Let's try to find... Is anyone finding anything in the chat? Sorry, I'm making you guys work. James Gunn, Gaza. Oh, that's true. There was this thing. Bassem Youssef was supposed to have a role in Superman, and then he claimed that he was cut because of his comments about Gaza. Sir James Gunn says Bassem Youssef's character was cut from Superman before Piers Morgan Palestine interview, so he says that had nothing to do with it. Is James Gunn's Superman movie critical of Israel? This is from The National. New film is full of more than subtle nods to the Israel-Gaza war. In James Gunn's new Superman movie, a sophisticated military attacks innocent civilians from across a border fence while with children's lives hanging in the balance. Oh, that's another thing that was also very... There was a highlight on kids. Like, there's a scene where, like, a bunch of kids grab a flag and are like, screaming, like, Superman, 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 Superman. They were really focused on the kids. And as someone who's been witnessing this genocide through my phone for the past 2 years... You see little brown kids suffering and scared, you're going to think that these are victims of Israel at this point. Like, I'm sorry. So seeing a bunch of brown kids holding a flag and screaming, Superman, 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 honestly kind of made me wish there was a Superman, because in the movie, he does try to help these kids. So it really does make you wish that there were a fucking Superman. Maybe if there was a fucking alien from outer space, this genocide wouldn't fucking happen. You know what I mean? Like, it takes a fucking... alien who's not tied to a government to be able to act. And that's one of the big plot points of the movie, is like, under what authority does Superman think he can intervene in these wars? You know what I mean? Like, these are national defense, national security situations. Like, he shouldn't step in, but he does, because he does what's right. So anyways, if that imagery evokes Israel-Gaza war in your mind, you're not alone. Social media posts have claimed the film is a critical response to Israel's actions in Gaza. The film is very anti-Israel, set a 5-star review on Letterboxd app, which has garnered nearly 9 million views across platforms. Another post with 11 million views on X claimed the film's criticism is very explicit and in your face. The film's perceived... Oh, here's a picture, yeah. Here's the military kind of going towards the literally just innocent civilians. This kind of reminded me of the aid... camps right now that they've, like, those fake aid camps where they're using to corral Palestinians in there as if they're like fucking cattle or animals, and then just gun them down. Gunn or any of the cast and crew have publicly claimed the story is about Israel or Palestine, but early audiences have pointed to one of the film's main story threads as an allegory for the conflict. But is the film about Israel and Palestine? It can certainly be interpreted that way, but it's not as overt as many have claimed. Let's break it down. Minor spoilers to follow. And also, I think that this is going to just fly over the head of so many in the audience, bro. Like, Americans, again, if they watch Star Wars, The Hunger Games, Dune, whatever the fuck, and they don't understand that rebels, You know what I mean? Are like the good guys, and then like Hamas and like those people are the resistance against an oppressive colonialist fucking government that is trying to invade their country. Nothing is going to fucking wake them up. I highly doubt that Superman is going to have an impact on people. They're going to walk out like, you know what? I've been too silent on the Gaza-Israel genocide. It's time for me to speak out. And like, I don't expect any of that to happen. I think if you're informed about the situation, if you've been following the genocide and what's been happening, this is going to hit you a certain way. If you don't care, I don't think this is going to make you care all of a sudden. The film opens 3 weeks after Superman has prevented the fictional nation of Boravia, an ally of the US, we're told, from invading the fictional nation of Jarhanpur. Boravia, we're told, has a sophisticated and heavily armed military through US support, while Jarhanpur is a poor nation which can do little to defend itself. Early in the story, reporter Lois Lane interviews Superman about his actions in Boravia, moments of which appear in the film's trailer. Boravia's plan, we're told, is a settler colonial project that aims to displace the indigenous Jarhanpurians and expand the Boravian state. The imagery also evokes scenes from the Gaza conflict, set in an arid environment with women wearing modest clothing. The Boravians are portrayed as ethnically white, while the Jarhanpurians are non-white. In some scenes, I hate the fucking name. I'm just going to call them Palestinians. The Palestinians approach the border between the two territories, a metal fence, and men, women, and children march with sticks and rocks in their hands as Boravians point rifles at them from the other side of the dividing point. One young boy holds the flag of Superman as soldiers approach, hoping to be saved. The discussions between the characters also mirror real-life debates around Israel and Palestine. In a scene in which Lois Lane and Superman debate the morality of his intervention, Lois lays out a defense of Boravia, that an unchecked Jarhanpurian government could also be responsible for future bloodshed, which reflects arguments against Hamas. Superman, portrayed as an idealist, believes that stopping the conflict is the way to save innocent lives. And then he even says, there's even a point where he says that even if their government is like evil, it doesn't give them an excuse. It doesn't give Boravia an excuse to invade their land, which is basically, even if you hate Hamas, it doesn't give Israel the right to do what they're doing. So you can even draw that parallel if you wanted to. And the Boravia-Jarhanpur conflict remains a focal point throughout the film, with the Boravian leader who bears physical resemblance to Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu working with the film's primary antagonist Lex Luthor. And here you can make the comparison of like Elon Musk working hand in hand with Netanyahu and aligning with billionaires and shit. Lex Luthor has, going back to the 1980s, been directly modeled after President US Donald Trump. The timeline of the film aligns with the Israel-Gaza war. Gunn was writing the film at the time of October 7, 2023. Attacks by Hamas, saying he was 99% done in December of that year. So, I mean, yeah, you can definitely see the inspiration. Gunn did comment on the conflict during that time, albeit obliquely. Before production began, Egyptian comedian Bassem Youssef announced that he had lost a role in the film due to comments he made about Israel-Gaza. Gunn clarified in February that Youssef had never been offered the role, though they did discuss the possibility. Gunn wrote on Threads, "There isn't one word against another. Bassem and I talked and we're good. I understand how he thought things might be, which he was clear about in his interview, and I told him the whole story." Anyways, what do I think? I think, despite Rachel Brosnahan being a Zionist piece of shit, I think the movie gives a pretty tame, mainstream. For a mainstream movie, I think I was pretty impressed. And I mean, definitely, it makes the white colonial country that is technologically advanced and allied to the United States look like the villain, whereas the people of Jarhanpur, whatever it's called, are poor. They're using sticks and stones. They're mainly women and children, modestly covered, brown. And they're the innocents, and they are represented as the innocent victims in this film. I thought it was kind of dope. So, I mean, overall, you can watch this film and claim that it does have somewhat of a pro-Palestine, anti-Israel message. I will say that, like, kind of, if you guys watch it, let me know in the comments later what you guys think. But yeah. And no, I don't think the actor looks a lot like BB. He's not a BB lookalike. He's not a BB lookalike. But yeah. This is kind of what's been happening. So those are my opinions on the film. Let's see what else is there on the docket to talk about. I was disappointed in Rachel Brosnahan. Oh, so yeah. So people are saying that the film is anti-Israel, but you have people like the Jerusalem Post that took it an entirely different way. 5 facts on Superman's Jewish immigrant origins and James Gunn's reboot. Superman has always been an immigrant and by extension a Jewish immigrant. Long before today's culture wars, Gunn's film merely foregrounds a theme embedded in the hero's DNA since 1938. The title was different. The title was like the movie is like kind of like a love letter to Jewish immigrants. The new Superman film opening. Now, to be fair, I'm not conflating Zionism with Judaism. If they're just purely talking about like a Jewish immigrant moving to New York City, then sure. But let's see what they're talking about here. Let's see. Israel. Ooh, doesn't look like the article mentions Israel. Okay, cool. The character was created by the sons of Jewish immigrants, correct? And again, yeah, like when people are saying it's not an immigrant story, it is, bro. Okay. I'm thinking it's time to do some spoilers, and then I told you guys this was going to be a short stream. How long have I been streaming? This might be one of the shorter streams we ever do. 1 hour and 15 minutes. Has anyone here watched the film? If I want to talk about some spoilers, because there's a couple of things in the film that are interesting for me to talk about. Yeah, so the creators of Superman are Jewish. Since I have you guys here, I'm gonna jump into spoilers real quick. But since I have you here, quick reminder to subscribe to my brand new gaming channel. Do not worry, gaming folks. We're at 400 and let's see how many subs. 448 subscribers. Subscribe. The link is pinned on top of the live chat. So some of you guys don't mind. I'm gonna get into 2 spoilers. Okay, I'm gonna put the spoiler warning. But before, subscribe to Do Not Worry Gaming. I'm going to play some Dark Souls tonight, most likely. I'm going to take we're going to end the stream in like 15 minutes. I'm going to take like a 45-minute break, and I'm probably going to play from like midnight to like 2 a.m. or something, Lebanon time. So we're going to do that. But first, I want to talk some spoilers, folks. So now, the spoiler banner is on. The spoiler banner is here. So I am going to discuss some spoilers. Let's also put the spoilers one. Maki. So folks, I'm not going to get into spoiler territory. So if you're just joining us and you don't want to hear any spoilers, I'm just going to talk about 2 things, okay? 2 things. One of them is kind of a spoiler, okay, in the film. And another one is just like a cameo that happens at the end. So it's not that important. But you've been warned. Fair warning, okay? If you guys want to mute the screen until I stop talking about spoilers. Or if you don't care, I'm going to talk about 2 quick things. Okay, you've been warned. Fair warning. You're all gone. You've all muted. So in the movie, we are introduced to Superman's biological parents. Okay, Jor-El, and I forgot his mom's name. Okay, in the Fortress of Solitude. We see them. There's like a video message that they sent with Clark in his little spaceship as he was a baby that he's been replaying his whole life. But the message kind of stops playing halfway through. He's only been able to hear the first half of the message, which is like, hey, son, we love you. We put you in the spaceship. We sent you to Earth because it's a planet where you can excel. And the people there are like nice. And we want you to help them and help the people of Earth, etc. And then they're continuing to talk in like their native language of Kryptonian. And then they're like speaking. And then like, you know what I mean? It's Bradley Cooper. His dad, Jor-El, is played by Bradley Cooper. So the video and the transmission that was sent with their son is kind of cut halfway through. And then later in the film, Lex Luthor kind of gets the other half of that video to work, and they translate the rest of it. And what it translates to is essentially Jor-El sent Superman on Earth to basically rule over humans. When they finish the video, you hear Bradley Cooper, Jor-El say, like basically come to Earth. Humans are like simple, they're weak, they're simple-minded, they need a strong leader like you. So it's going to be your job to rule. Impregnate as many women as you can so that you like spread Kryptonian genetics across Earth as much as you can, and then rule over the people like, you know, the leader you were always meant to be, etc. Now, we don't know. The movie doesn't say that that's a fake message or that like it was doctored by Lex Luthor. You have your doubts as a viewer, but like they never come out and say like, no, the footage, the audio was doctored. So they basically make it seem like Superman was sent to Earth to invade humanity, you know what I mean? To rule the Earth. A lot of people are mad about that online. I kind of think that was kind of a dope choice. Like that's a nice story twist because it makes Superman being good completely his choice. He was sent Like, his parents sent him here to rule over the earth and to do whatever the fuck they wanted them to do. But, like, ultimately, he made the choice to be good. He made the choice to be a human being, to live like a human, to protect human beings. You know what I mean? So people are mad, like, no, why did you're ruining the lore. You're ruining Jor-El's lore. I'm like, bro, it's still fucking cool. Like, Balakas, it makes Superman even more of a badass. Like, he was sent here to basically rule over the earth, but he's such a good guy. He has such a good heart. He's such a pure soul that he doesn't even want to do that. He wants to help humans. He wants to live alongside them. He wants to live beside them. He was raised by humans who gave him all of these human qualities and characteristics. So I think that's actually a very nice twist. So I kind of like that. Mireya sends $2 and says, Bradley Cooper was a jump scare. Still 7.5 out of 10 to me. Ooh, Mireya, you've seen the movie. Awesome. Did you like it overall? It was. I had found out like yesterday that he was in the movie. I would have been surprised, but I heard it yesterday. So that to me was a very cool twist. Like, I like the fact that Bradley Cooper, that like his parents are kind of assholes, like these rich fucking assholes from Krypton. Like, hey, go over there and rule these fucking idiots. Like, you know what I mean? I kind of like the fact that that he's like, fuck that, no. And he's crushed when he finds out that that was his purpose. He's disappointed. He's crushed. He's scared. He has a hard time believing that it's true. Heather has just gifted 1 Do Not Worry membership. Thank you for the gifted, Heather. Much appreciated. So, Maria J13 says, just finished the movie. I love it. Well, I'm glad you liked it. I mean, I liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun, but I just think it was a bit too wacky. But part of me thinks maybe I should watch it a second time. I think overall I would give it like a 7 out of 10. A 7 out of 10. Another spoiler that I want to talk about quickly is that at the end of the movie, we are introduced to Superman's cousin. What's her name? Kara? Supergirl, essentially. We're introduced to Supergirl. Kara. Is her name Kara, right? Kara Danvers? So yeah, she's played by the girl from House of the Dragon. I forgot her name. What's her name? Supergirl Kara movie. What's her name? Millie Alcock, right? I wrote Alcock so wrong. Millie Alcock. Oh no, that's how you write it. Okay, images. So Millie Alcock is going to be playing Supergirl. You see her she pops up at the end of the movie for just a few seconds. She's like all drunk and stuff. Like you find out that Crypto is actually her dog. He's not Superman's dog. She's like slobbering all over the place. And the next movie to come out in the DCEU is going to be Supergirl. So I thought it was a nice scene, like at the end, like her coming in. I don't know much about Supergirl. I had no idea that she's like a partier. She parties and like she drinks and stuff like that. So that'll be interesting to explore. She ends up taking Crypto back with her. But to me, I mean, the biggest spoiler, the biggest twist was that Superman was sent to Earth to destroy it. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Superman Red Sun, which is an Elseworld comic where Superman lands, but instead of landing in America, he lands in Russia. And then the whole point is like, okay, if Superman lands in Russia, does that mean he's going to be evil? And you end up finding out that no, it doesn't matter where Superman lands. He was going to be good no matter what. He ends up being a Russian Superman, just as good and kind as the American Superman. Maria sends $5 and says, yes, I thought it was so fun. Not as good as Guardians 1 and 3, but somewhere near 2. I agree. It's in terms of James Gunn's superhero movies, at least his 3 Guardians movies and his Suicide Squad one. This might be one of the weaker ones, but it's a solid start to the universe. I just thought it went a little bit too wacky, a little bit too cartoony, and it lacked a little bit of weight. Usually James Gunn movies always... I'm going to remove the spoiler banner. James Gunn movies typically always make me tear up. You know what I mean? This one I felt was kind of the weakest. Oh, sorry. One more spoiler. There's a scene at the end. Where you have all these kids, the Palestinian kids essentially, are like begging for Superman to come save them. They're holding the flag. They're all chanting, Superman, 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 Superman. But he's also busy saving Metropolis from like a rift that is happening in like space-time. So he can't go and help. What does he end up doing? He sends like the Justice Gang, like Green Lantern, played by Nathan Fillion and Mr. Terrific and the Hawk Girl, to help the Palestinian kids. Instead of having like a badass scene of Superman flying in, basically Gaza, going in there and beating some fucking IDF soldiers, we got the B Gang going in there. I thought that scene would have been so much more powerful if Superman actually went there and did the deed instead of the spares, the substitutes. So that was a bit disappointing. But overall, I think it was very fun. And that's that for spoilers. That is that for spoilers, guys. Not too many spoilers. How long has the stream been? An hour and 24 minutes. Not bad. I think that's kind of enough for what we're doing here today, folks. Just wanted to give you guys my thoughts on the film. Do you guys want to talk about anything in the live chat? If anyone has any question, anything you want to send, feel free to do so. And I will take your questions. I'm going to take like an hour and a half to an hour off. And then I'm going to be back. And I'm going to play some Dark Souls tonight, folks. I'm going to play some Dark Souls. So once again, if you'd like to subscribe to Do Not Worry Gaming, can we get it to 450 subs? Can we get to 450 subscribers? Well, one more subscriber, folks. I just need one more of you guys in the live chat to subscribe, and it's at 450. I'm gonna refresh it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. God damn it. Okay, folks. Thank you so much for joining this little fun impromptu last-minute stream. Let me just take a second to thank some of our lovely, lovely patrons. Brand new patrons who joined. Fab as an abductee patron who paid for the whole year. Fab, thank you so much. A brand new blonde patron, Fujoshi Cake. Thank you, Fujoshi Cake. And superhero patron, Irene the Dream. You guys are fantastic. I'd like to thank some of our God-tier patrons like Ilian Mujabber, Dominic Seldra, Daniel Nechle, EU Watson. You guys are fucking amazing. Daniel Nechle, I hope you had a safe trip back home. Sorry, I did not get to see you while you were here. Superhero patrons like Pee-wee Hernan, Jordan M, Elias Salibi, Celine H. Blonde patrons like Stargirl 707, Natalie, Eric Knudsen. Thank you guys so much for the support. We will be back tomorrow with possibly Nour and Karine. We're going to be doing an international cuisine tier list, folks. We're going to be ranking and comparing Italian food to American food to Lebanese food to Spanish food to Indian cuisine to Israeli cuisine. We're going to have fun. It's going to be intense. It's going to be like the national anthem tier list, but more intense, more blood. We're going to be slinging mud at each other, folks. It's going to be fucking crazy. We're also going to talk about ContraPoint's statement on Israel and Palestine. We're going to read that. Yes, we're going to La Fuerza Omega. We're going to discuss ContraPoints, even though I honestly don't even fucking know who ContraPoints is, but we're going to read her thing anyways. Subscribe to my gaming channel. Do Not Worry Games. Are we at 450? Are we at 450? 453. Let's go. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for joining me for the stream. Go watch Superman. It is a fun movie. I do recommend it. You will enjoy it. Try to watch it in IMAX if you can. Even though the visuals, like F1 to me blew me away. Like the visuals in F1, that was a fucking worthy IMAX movie. Worth every IMAX penny. This wasn't that great. But anyways, folks, I'm going to have some food. I'm going to chill a little bit, relax, and then we're going to play some Dark Souls later tonight. Hopefully. If not, we will see you tomorrow. I'm going to play some Dark Souls tomorrow again and another live stream. We love you. As always, see you later, baby. And yeah, go watch Superman. It's fun.